Hey. Wow. I've never seen this room so full in an afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to welcome you to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation conversation with an actor who is very likely in at least one of your favorite movies. He has played everything from a pirate to a space cowboy to a lovable droid to the world's dumbest rooster. And along the way, he's earned 2 SAG nominations, an Annie Award, and of course, countless fans. You can now see him every week playing Bruce Wayne's cousin on Powerless. Please welcome Alan Tudyk.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is your crowd. These are your people. My God. Nice.
They are all my people. I brought everyone. They were all reserved seats with Tudyk.
Nobody's here to see me? Thanks. A little more. So this is obviously a SAG audience. I always like to start by asking, how did you get your SAG card?
Ooh, how did I get my SAG card? I don't remember. I think it was a commercial.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a commercial. I did, I did a commercial where I was a stock boy. General Mills was dropping the price on all of their cereal, and I was stamping the price on everyone down. I was, putting sale prices. And then there's a herd of people like, what's that rumbling? And then I get trampled. And then it's like, I come up and go, what happened? And all this stuff.
Just like that.
And I remember they cut my hair for it, so it stuck up like this, which basically just means like, cut that out, cut that out, cut that out. I'm like, thanks for the day's work. And I left there, I was like, oh, hey, they didn't fix that. That's now how I look.
This is crazy, but I think I actually remember that commercial.
Really?
Like, as you're telling it.
I have a screenshot of it.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Was your hair like bright red?
Yeah, my hair was a lot redder when I was younger. Yes, it changed.
So did you not work for like another year because you had this horrible haircut, or?
No, I just had a short haircut for a while. But I did, I kicked around New York for a while. I got my start in a play called Bunny Bunny.
Yes.
So I took that to Philadelphia, and then it came to New York off Broadway. It was about Gilda Radner. Alan Zweibel wrote it, and it was about his relationship with her. He was a writer on the first season, or the first few seasons of, what was it called? Yeah, Saturday Night Live. And, I got to play some of his best writing, because it was Gilda Radner and Alan Zweibel, the characters by Paula Kael and Bruno Kirby. And then I played everybody else.
Right,
so
you're like a waiter.
French waiter with they were like just bits, like the best, like Saturday Night Live. They're like, you asked to, what would you like to? I'm sorry, what would you like to? And then leave, and then I was a camera operator too, like this, and she was great. And then I was Big Bone Judy, who interrupted a date there because they just lost her. Oh my God, her boyfriend. You guys have your date. I'll just be over here. And it was like run backstage, wigs, dress, come back on, do a little bit, leave stage, glasses, wig, and so I played 20-something roles.
You're kidding? It was that many?
Yeah, it was cool, and I really was helped out by the director, Chris Ashley, who in the program put Alan Zweibel, Bruno Kirby, Gilda Radner, Paula Kael, and then Alan Tudyk, camera operator, Alan Tudyk, French waiter, Alan Tudyk, and it's like a list that long.
Wow.
So when people are getting ready to see the play, they look through it and they're like, who the hell is this Alan Tudyk guy? So then it became a game of who's he gonna be next,
yeah.
You know, it really, I think that almost more than my performance really made.
No, that's cool, because they could have just said Alan Tudyk, everybody else.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which, a lot of places would have just done.
Save the ink. Yeah.
And I'm curious because I believe you were born and raised in Texas.
Yeehaw. Yeah, I was born in El Paso and raised right outside of Dallas in Plano.
Your family didn't have...
Go Wildcats! Or Panthers or Wolves, or that other one.
That was like a bingo.
Well, there's 3 now. They're huge.
Is there really?
Yeah, there was about 1,500 in my graduating class.
Jeez.
And then there was Plano East.
Plano Senior, Plano East, and I was Plano West.
Which didn't exist when I was there. Is that like 1500 as well? Graduating?
It was like the newer part of town.
Right,
Yeah.
but like your graduating class, how
yeah,
big was that?
1500s.
Yeah. So many people. I didn't know the two guys on either side of me to get our diplomas.
You're kidding.
And it was alphabetical.
Amazing.
So you're like, really? How are you? Tudyk. Nice to, you would think we would have
Turner.
At some point, Turner, we would have sat next to each other in some class. Yeah.
I mean, is that where you developed an interest in performing? I don't think your family wasn't in the business in any way, was it?
No. I did plays. My mom put me in like little plays during the summer. The Park Boulevard Players and the regional, I don't know. I was performed at a mall once. But I got into it pretty fast. There was competitions in school, which is a big Texas
yes.
thing, like, acting.
That's right. Yeah.
They, can we get a trophy out of this? All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Did you ever win?
I did. I won a lot when I was in the
Wow.
6th to 8th grade. I was, but there was like group improvisation. There was impromptu, where you get like little strips of paper that'll say like bacon frying in a pan, or your microwave blew up, and you'd have 1 minute to think of a 3-minute speech, and then you pick one of them and then give a speech. And I would always do characters.
Oh, interesting.
So that's how I
Wait,
would.
how are you at this now? Because lard. No, just.
You just go away that nobody,
Yeah.
because like people would usually be like, well, lard was first made in obvious ways, and if you could just start anywhere else, like, I'm gonna go with lard. All right, everyone, right this way. Right this. Not you. Not you. Not you. Okay, come over there, and we're gonna see how the Crisco is made. You're mine. You're like, if you take it a completely different way, then
Still got it.
I could kick the crap out of some 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Right now.
Yeah, you said you won between 6th and 8th. Did you just peak then? And
I kind of drugs and alcohol. I spun out. I kind of quit. I went through I was skateboarding, and I did one play, and then in drama, because I could still do plays in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then the drama teacher said, you can't be in drama, in plays, if you're doing that. I have to give the roles to my drama students. So it's like, well, I don't care about you either. And then I started failing classes. That's what it mainly was. I wasn't a great student. So, and Ross Perot, who is still big in Dallas, I think it was a smart thing, did no pass, no play. If you don't pass, you can't do any extracurricular. It was meant for football players who weren't getting an education, or anybody, I guess, and me.
you didn't know he'd be keeping people out of the drama department.
Yeah, so I couldn't compete. I compete every once in a while, and I still do it. I still did it in my junior and senior year, which is its own school. They're great public schools there. It really, I mean, no.
I know, there was a laugh.
Oh, Houston. Well, that's Houston. Dallas and Houston. Yeah. We're better, but it's not a contest. I mean, truly, it's not a contest. Dallas. It's humid there. Anyway. So yeah, my teacher there, Charlotte English, who I think was going through some divorce. I don't know. She taught from some book that was like a divorce book, but it involved a lot of meditation, and it involved stuff that was great for just relaxing and getting focused, and not listening to that man.
This could warp you.
Being your own woman, and no codependency. But she told me I was going to go into hotel management, and I was doing, because I didn't want to become an actor, because I didn't want to be poor. And anytime I met a teacher when I was going to school, in school, they'd all say, I was an actor. I was an actor once, like the drama teachers. They're like, yeah, well, I acted. I'm like, what happened? What happened, man? Why are you here doing this now? And they're like, oh, well, you know, I did a play here, I wrote a thing, and then I got married. And it always stopped at married and kids. And so I felt like if I was going to be an actor, I couldn't get married, and I couldn't have kids. And I was going to be poor. And that was really my reasoning. And I was also working at Taco Bueno, which was like a little better than Taco Bell.
Wait, nothing is better than Taco Bell.
So you've just outed yourself as a pot smoker.
I didn't actually know I was in, but yeah.
A lot of people are doing it. It's pretty much legal now. I think it is legal now.
God, I hope so.
More or less. Jeff Sessions will figure that one out. He's working on it. But I was the assistant. I was almost an assistant manager, and I felt like I was really good at my job at Taco Bueno. And
wait, that just means taco good, right?
yeah, or good taco. Oh. And it was odd, you know, ironic. The burritos were the best thing. So, but they keep you guessing.
And burrito bueno actually sounds better.
Well, it does. There is the alliteration there. Missed chance because Taco Bell took them over. Really, they ran them out. They're the top one. And why is Del Taco still in business? Anyway, because that crap. What is that?
I have no idea.
It's like RC Cola of Mexican food. Sweat.
I actually love Royal Crown Cola.
Oh, Royal Crown,
yes.
Right. I like flat, overly sweet things. Anyway, I don't know. I haven't drank that in a long time. I have had it. Anyway, so I thought I was very good at hotel management or restaurant management, so I got into this after-school program where I was following around a hotel manager at this fancy hotel in Dallas. And my drama teacher found out about it, and she said, is that what you're doing? And I said, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And she said, I think you should be an actor. And I said, no, what? Like these other guys, Jeremy Schwartz, Greg Wilson, who's a stand-up comedian now in town. My dog chewed this. I probably shouldn't have. If anybody gets a good chance to see that.
Your dog.
My dog. I'm at home just chewing on my what was I saying?
Taco Bueno, hotel management.
Oh yeah.
Divorce teacher.
She said, Charlotte English said, you should be an actor. And I said, but Greg Wilson and Jeremy Schwartz, they're better than me. Look at all the trophies they win. Because I can never, I couldn't really put it together. And she was like, you're better than them. And I think one of the reasons she gave me, because I was different, and I would cut up my knees on accident at lunch. I would go skateboarding at lunch, and I would let the blood run down into my socks. And I wouldn't wipe it off, and I wore crazy clothes to school. I had lunch lady appreciation day a couple of days where I wore all white, but they would give me the plastic gloves and the thing, because they loved it. Oh, and my sombrero. Huge sombrero. And I would wear it around in a class of 1,500. I felt like a number, and I would complain about that. And so I decided I would do these things. And she sort of pointed to that.
Yeah.
And my bloody socks said, you can be an actor.
Maybe she just thought you needed attention.
Yeah. It's a quick way to therapy or something. I don't know. I guess she just didn't see me as a hotel manager, at least.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I know you went to Juilliard, which for someone who didn't have great grades, I mean, that's kind of impressive.
Oh, they don't care about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
They don't.
It's just an audition process?
Yeah, it was an audition process. It's now a lot stricter. When I went, you basically just auditioned with a 2-minute contemporary piece and a 2-minute classical piece. You had to have a song ready. And you went in. I went to New York and did it. And then, like, for my song, they were like, okay, take your song, and you're putting a 3-year-old to bed and sing your song to the 3-year-old. So then it was about an improv, and it was about the song I had was from Working, which was, the song was If I Could Have Been. So it was kind of a perfect song because it goes, if I could have been what I could have been, I would have been something. So I'm putting down this little girl, and I had done improvisation in an improv group in Dallas called Rubber Chicken, and I learned a lot doing that. And so I said, so I can change anything, I can move things around in the room. They're like, yeah. And that's for Juilliard. They're like, yes, of course you can. Go. Dragging things in and making, things. They just wanted to see somebody who, had eager to go and wasn't, I don't know. They were into it.
Did you take your sombrero?
I did not. I had to give it back to Mimi McGreal. I'd actually taken it from her older brother, who was at college, and he came back and wanted it back. It was gorgeous. Yeah. But I got in with improv. I think my improv is what got me in even. I did have a good contemporary piece. My classical piece was terrible. It was a monologue from a monologue book, not from a whole play.
Oh.
But it was great. It was called The Sex Organ by Quincy. Is John Quincy Long? That can't be right. Sounds like something?
Sounds good to me.
Then it must be him. I feel like that's a statesman or something. It's not. All right, John Quincy Long. And it was written. If you saw it on the page, it was confusing because it said beer, bud, beer, bud, buddies with beer buddies, and it was a ad guy coming up with a ad, and so it was just that kind of thing. Wait, guy, friends, friends and guys, guy friends. They're fishing, they're casting, he's got one. He pulls up a beard that's terrible. And it was like that. And it was really fun to do, and they liked it, and I got it.
I mean, how jarring was that, though, growing up in Texas to Juilliard?
It was big. I was very eager to work. I had done a 2-year junior college, which really didn't have good acting instruction there, terrible, in fact. And then I did 2 years in Dallas where I did the improv. And it was big city. There wasn't a campus. It was Lincoln Center. You're just kind of in it, which is brilliant. But I guess Central Park was our campus. So, I mean, it was really, you're in New York. And a lot of dancers. I don't know. Like when you went down the drama, you got off the elevators, you looked this way, it was the drama department, you looked this way, and it was the dancers. And they'd all be in the hallways with their legs up here and like wearing nothing, just like stretching and being beautiful. And I married one, so so I did get married, but I just 6 months ago. So
really, you're newlywed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. To a dancer that I fancied back then, who was one of the stretchy dancers down there.
That's who you married?
Yeah, Carissa Barton. Yeah.
Wow, did you stay in touch all these years, or?
Kind of.
That makes it sound a little nebulous.
Well, it was so many years, and
Yeah.
she had a huge life in so many different directions, and my life went in so many different directions. Well, kind of one direction, but all over the place. And she was like a dancer, and then she ran a company that serviced software for a long time, or for 5 years in New York, and then sold it, and then created this charity for these people that she ran for 7 years and did all this work.
Wow.
Yeah, and we would connect every once in a while. Whenever we ended up in the same city, she came to see Spamalot, which we talked about backstage, and yeah, that's cool. So she saw that, and she's like, I'm like, oh, Carissa's coming. And then she shows up with this guy.
Oh.
Well, and I met him, and I'm like, oh, he's just a dancer that she works with. That guy's gay. not her boyfriend, because he was very, he seemed very gay to me, and he is. Now. But not then, and so it wasn't a good time, and then other times we met up, and I had somebody, but we always had an eye on each other.
Wait, this needs to be a movie. I'm curious about this. Well, let's forget your career. Let me talk about your wife.
Yeah, she's great. She's a choreographer. She just started a program for dancers that there really isn't a program for dancers coming out of college and then going into the real world to sort of bridge that gap. And she's started, it's called Access Connect, and she just did their first year last year, and now they're about to start their second year. She brings all these people together because she danced for a long time, and her sisters are, she just so impresses me. Her older sister worked in Cirque du Soleil doing choreography for a while, and then her Azure Barton travels the world and puts pieces on huge companies. And so the three of them are part of it. It's kind of, she started it. And like last year, they do a week in New York, and they do a week here, and they had like associate choreographer of Hamilton come in and teach them all the one of the numbers from Hamilton, and then she basically did a mock audition. She's like, you, everybody else sit down. Now I'm gonna tell you why, and like gave them that education. And then ended up hiring the two people.
You're kidding.
They're in the touring company now. I have chills. I think that is just so amazing. We should have that for actors, right?
Yeah.
And she just started that. She's just like, there's a need. I have the ability to do this. I know the people to make this happen. And she did it, and this year it's even better. And yeah.
So she's amazing, and you're like the trophy husband.
Yeah, I just hang out. I do speak to the dancers. Last year I spoke to the dancers for about an hour. And it was good. I don't know how much I helped them. I was such a busy year last year. I kept crying.
During your speech?
It was terrible. And her mother was there. I came by, I was like, Roz, I'm sorry you had to see me like that. I didn't want to be weird in front of you. And she said, Alan, from the first moment I met you, I knew you were weird. And I love it. Like I was talking about acting and talking about the imagination and the importance of things, of stakes, and imbuing things within the scene that might not be the words you're saying or the action that's happening, but if you have if there's something in the scene that can help you invest in what your character is doing. This is all very vague right now, but make it meaningful for you, make it meaningful for the character. And I kind of went into a few things that were meaningful, or let's say there was a rock. I was talking about a rock, that you can feel the rock, and do you feel how does it feel? Is it smooth? Is it rough in your hand? Like, really identify with that, and then I'm like, I'm sorry. My rock is smooth. For some reason, that is really affecting me right now. But like, it was all the imagination stuff that kind of triggered my emotions. I was very tired.
Well, something that actually doesn't surprise me, because I remember when you did Dodgeball. I'm going to pause for applause. Dodgeball. I was shocked to hear how seriously you took it. Like, you studied pirates, and you compared it to like the man who thinks he's Henry Ford. You know, that Steve the pirate really had to believe he was a pirate.
Right. Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. I said
yes,
Ford. That's
Ford.
Weird.
Which is really kind of interesting right now. I've been thinking about that play. Is that like a Pirandello play? Is that Henry Ford, where the guy, he's crazy, he's very rich, he wakes up one day and he says, I'm Henry IV. And everybody, I'm like, huh? What? I'm sorry, what is that? Yeah, I'm Henry IV. And they go, yes, Your Highness. And they all decide to just go along with his idea of being king or president or something. And they all just service that. And the question is, well, who's to say he isn't Henry IV? If everybody around him says he's Henry IV, he believes he's Henry IV, then why isn't he Henry IV? If he's getting to act like Henry IV or president or whatever. So it was that, a pirate a guy who wakes up one day and says he's a pirate. He had a mental breakdown in my mind.
You had a whole backstory.
Oh yeah, of course you have to do that.
For Steve the pirate?
Yes. Or else it's going to be, I said gar and yar a lot. That was like my main line. But there is a moment where he says, you're not a pirate, and he wanders the streets for a little bit. So there needs to be something behind that.
Oh yeah, that's heartbreaking actually.
Even if it's just a little bit, you know, he needs that turn.
And you actually went to pirate conventions?
I went to a pirate. I mean, that was all fortunate. The guy who made my gold tooth, you know.
That guy, the gold tooth guy.
Richard Snell. I remember his name because anyway, he did my makeup for Patch Adams so many years ago, and I had hives. When I showed up to work, I had really bad reaction to some food, and he's like, could you take off your shirt so I can get some pictures of those hives? Because these are really good hives. I got like a leprosy thing I'm doing. There's some really horrendous stuff, and you're selling it right now. So I remembered his name, and he did my tooth. I was like, we started talking. He's like, so tell me, this pirate thing, you making fun of pirates? No, this guy is thinks he's a pirate. He's like, I'm a pirate. And he did have long hair and like a lot of little jewelry things. He's like, we actually have a convention coming, or I don't know what they called it. It was like way out in Ojai, and he invited me. The Rum Runners was his name of their pirate clan. And I went there with Missy Pyle, and who was in the movie as well. And we hung out with pirates and drank their rum. They made some rum. There were birds, and there were like on your shoulder, and they all looked like great pirates. I was kind of a crappy pirate, but I you know. You figured it out. They liked wrestling. There was like gar and yeah. They did a lot of that. They swashbuckled. They were doing that all over the place, buckling and swashing.
I have to imagine you've heard every pirate joke there is. Do you have a favorite?
I don't think any of them are good that I've heard. It's like, you know, with the punchlines like, she's driving me nuts.
Oh, the steering wheel. Yeah.
And there was a good one about what are pirates' favorite letter? And then, no, I don't remember.
I think you undersold the driving me nuts joke. If you actually tell the joke, it's pretty funny.
I don't remember. He's got a thing in his pants and
a steering wheel on his pants.
To his penis.
And someone asks him why.
Why? And he says, it's driving me nuts.
See, I think you would actually.
And why? I never went into stand-up comedy right there.
I heard this. Did you actually try stand-up comedy once?
I did in Jacksonville, Texas, where I went to the 2-year school that didn't go well. It was just bad school. Great drama program. And I did stand-up for a JC's talent contest in town, and I won. Really? And a enterprising manager of the Holiday Inn bar caught my act and said, hey, would you come up and do it at my bar once a week, I think.
Wow. And
you do a 30-minute set once a week and bring 2 friends. Yeah. So I was writing really a lot. I had to write a lot. And some guy threatened to kill me one night. And I didn't do anything to him. I met him before I was just kind of meeting people, and this guy's name was Ray, and he was very drunk. He was with a woman and 2 women, and I can see him now. He was right there, right in the front. And I said, Ray, no. Every time these joke, if it didn't go well, I'm like, Ray gets it. Ray gets it. Come on, Ray. Come on, everybody follow Ray's lead. And he got sick of being called out. He's like, you mother. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'll kill you. Okay. I'm sorry. It was terrible. And that was the last time.
Really?
Yeah.
You let Ray stop you?
Yeah, no shit. Ray won. I then I went into group improv thinking I have a group of guys around me, so
Ray will have to go through them.
Because improv comedians are always the toughest. You want them at your back. Yeah.
So you left Juilliard. Was it to do Bunny Bunny?
Kind of. Yeah, I had started it my second year. There's a thing called New York Stage and Film that's up in Poughkeepsie at Vassar, and it's a lot of new playwrights, a lot of new plays. directors who were emerging. When I went to Juilliard, I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. And it wasn't the work that I didn't like. It was all my class. It's my class. And just the experience of it was very difficult for me. We had 4 years of people, and 4 years at the school, and you had 20 people in a class. And then they would get smaller as the years went on, as they kicked people out. And you never got to work with the other actors, and you never got to work with the dancers. Again with the dancers. You get to work with the dancers. You get to work with the musicians. You just didn't. You just did your own thing, and it took up all your work, and it was frustrating to me. And then my class was insane. There were some really brilliant people individually in there, but together we were nuts, and myself included. But one guy was in the mental hospital while we were at school, and they're like, "He should play Othello."
Oh my God.
A girl playing Desdemona. What? I'm sorry, what? It was hard to get to work. And it was just dealing with all this drama that surrounded the work. So I went to this place. So I started doing anything. Anytime anybody said, would you help me do a reading? Would you help me do anything? Yep, props, whatever. I'll do the stage readings for anything. I need connections. I want to get out of this school. And David Auburn, who's now done very well for himself, was in the playwrights program that year, and he would always, I was like his go-to actor then. Still not calling my phone. No, it's not ringing. I keep checking. It's not ringing. But luckily, back then, he would say, I'm going to do this, and it was a night of little plays, and I did it, and somebody, a producer of New York Stage and Film, said, would you come up and do, they didn't take David Auburn, but they took me.
Wow.
In your face, Auburn.
That's probably why he doesn't call.
It is, I just realized that. Just now. I undermined him somehow. So I did this, I worked with David Strathairn. I played his son in a thing, and it was just supposed to be a 2-week thing, and then they said, could you stick around and do Bunny Bunny, this new off-Broadway play, or this play that they're hoping will go someplace? And I did that, and then somebody fell out of Kim's Sister, a play that was actually a big play, so I stayed there doing that. And I'd luckily saved up enough money waiting tables that I could just take the whole summer off and do that because they didn't pay anything. But I met all of my contacts there. All of the new directors. I met directors. Whose names I don't remember, but they got me.
Jerry Zaks?
No, he was not there. Somebody got me in touch with Nikki Silver, who then I auditioned for Nikki Silver's next play, and I didn't like the audition. I went to the park. I got home. I was like, screw that. I went to the park, and when I got back home, there was 3 messages from Nikki Silver on my phone, and then I finally got him on the. I'm like, oh my God, he called. It's at the Playwrights Horizons Theater. And I called him, and he's like, oh, you're amazing. You're the most, where have you been hiding? You're so amazing. Oh, you're not getting the role. You're completely wrong for it. It's like, but I did call 3 agents, because you don't have an agent, and I hope that's okay. And so I got an agent out of that.
That's amazing.
And so with that helped pull me out of the thing. It helped me get me out of the school. And that's how I got out. And
then was your idea...
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. These are all the thrilling stories I'm telling you.
Did that, was your plan just to do theater, or did you always want to do film and TV?
The plan was, my dream was what a lot of people, was the same as many people's dreams that were around me, was you do theater, and you have an apartment in New York City, and then you do well enough to do Broadway, and movies and things that come through town, little TV things, who knows, whatever you can catch in there, and have a house upstate, so you in a car, and that's the perfect life. And now it's a very good school. I've been back. I know a lot of the teachers now. Some of the teachers who were not good teachers, who were very much into that punishing teaching thing, like you'll never. To my friend Eddie Liz Smith. Eddie, you will never be a Shakespearean actor professionally. You just don't have the voice. And it's screwed with this guy, and he's like in professional productions of Shakespeare going, oh, but I'll never make it as a Shakespeare. It's my favorite thing, but I'll never make it, like, because they break you down entirely. Yeah. You don't know how to sit, you don't know how to stand, you don't know how to talk. And Alexander technique, all of this really good stuff when they build you back up, but you are completely dependent on them to fill you back up and to be gentle with your raw nerves and trust them to say, this is different, this is how I sit now, okay, this is how I stand, this is how I'm supposed to talk. And with some people, David Lamb, you are a hamburger. You are so American, you're a hamburger. I mean, that one she was right. Total hamburger. But luckily, they liked me. They were nice to me. So
I really wanted that story to end with you saying, and that man was Eddie Redmayne. The moment you said Eddie.
Sada Ramirez was in my class.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, who won the Tony in Spamalot, and I actually, for Lady of the Lake, it was mainly the song Diva's Lament, which if you haven't seen it, it's online, and it's incredible. She is such an instrument, and she was at 17, she was one of the youngest people who came into the school, but we were in the same class, then we ended up doing Spamalot at the same time. She's on Grey's Anatomy now as nurse.
She's not a nurse, she's a doctor.
Doctor.
Callie Ramirez.
Callie Ramirez. It's on Thursday nights at 8.
Very good. You got that.
I know
one
that
right.
because my show's on Thursday nights at 8:30.
Oh.
Once you do the first half hour Grey's Anatomy, how do you walk away? I mean, they're gonna comb their hair. I don't know what they do on that show. They don't seem. Do they solve medical crime? What do they do?
Medical crimes.
Anyway, so she's on that. Was on that. She just left.
Did she?
Yeah, she just left.
Really? Okay.
I hope she goes back to Broadway because she's phenomenal.
Yeah. When was the last time you were on stage?
I did Prelude to a Kiss at the Roundabout Theater.
That's right, I remember that.
With John Mahoney and Annie Parise, who I also knew back in the day. Like all these people who, it's amazing. She was going to Fordham. Anyway. So yeah, I did that at the Roundabout for 3 months. It was cool. I got to be the guy.
That's like 10 years ago though, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that was the last time. I did do a play like 7 years ago with this brilliant clown. And it is going to come out again, and just clowns are going to take another huge hit. And I feel like in my career, clowning was something I did not do. I think it was that other thing where I was like, I'll be poor.
Are clowns rich?
No, you'll be poor. Yeah, you can't be a clown and be rich, I don't think. It just doesn't work. You lose your edge.
Your cred.
Yeah. When I was at Juilliard, I was having a difficult time. And we had clowns come in. They did not do, one of the things I didn't like also, I should say, is that they didn't do comedy. And none of the people in my class liked comedy. And it frustrated me. We did have a comedy section that we were supposed to do in our second year, and as it approached, and I was so looking forward to it, they changed it to Greek tragedy. Which is funny, but to do it was not funny. And so I went to the head, was Michael Kahn, who runs the Shakespeare Theater in Washington, D.C. still. He's the artistic director there. And I said, what are you doing? I'm dying. I need to do comedy. You need to do comedy. We need to do comedy. And he started bringing in clowns. And he brought in several. And after each one, I would come up to his office and go, no! We don't need to learn juggling. We need to learn comedy. We're like, what is funny? And let's break it down. And then they got this guy named Chris Bays who came in. We called him Angry Clown. And he gave our class, it was only our class who was getting these clowns to sort of, test them out. And it was me who was going back to him going, no, I'm the authority on this. And kind of that guy.
Yeah.
And he came in, he's like, okay, let's do a simple exercise. There's a line on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you guys get up. Go over there, change your look, you can arms, hunch up, whatever you want. Change your voice, however. Come around one by one, and when you hit the line, consider it like a diving board type of situation. When you hit the line, say hello, and make everybody laugh.
Oh.
And if everybody doesn't laugh, you didn't do it right. And you go back to the end of the line and do it again, till you get it right. And oh, it was so scary and so brilliant and beautiful, because what you end up having to do, it was just another acting class, just done in a different way, where people would come up and they go, ha-la-la-la-la, and everyone would be like, that's not funny, because there's really nothing true in that. And it isn't until you find real truth and real honesty, like you need to in acting, just in that situation, does it work. And there was always one person who just couldn't do it. And they go on the 5th time through, and they're just broken.
See, that's funny.
All right, sit down. You can sit down. Next 5. And I got up and built on that from there. And a good friend of mine, Orlando Pabotoy, who was in the class underneath mine, has now since gone on, and he's done amazing performances. And when I go see his clown shows, which he directs a lot of them, he doesn't perform enough, in my opinion, but they make you feel good. It's not funny. I did a play, so the play that I did last was called at La Mama Theaters, off Broadway, but it's an institution. La Mama, it was called That Beautiful Laugh, and it was a clown show, which is 3 people, 3 people plus 2 musicians. And Orlando directed it, and we kind of wrote it all together. And it's about a laugh. It's about at one time the world forgot how to laugh. In this world, the world forgot how to laugh, so they made up laughs. They made up big laughs and small laughs and giddy laughs and tweety laughs and all of that, but no one could remember how to laugh that beautiful laugh. And it's in this world that these clowns try to discover the beautiful laugh. And at the end of the play, after everything's gone wrong, we had this egg that I gave birth to 3 clowns out my butt. That says what kind of clowns they are. And I gave birth to myself. And then, I also give birth to an egg, this little red egg. And it's afraid to come out of its shell, and so we have to teach it about the world. And I can talk to it, and tell him what he just said. And at the end of the play, he's ready to come out of his shell after we've talked with shadow puppets and all of this stuff, and the birds and the bees. It's so much fun. And he wants to fly. And we have this target, and we put it on the piano, and I'm like, he's going to fly all around your head, he's going to land on your shoulder, he's going to go out of the theater, he's going to do this and that and this and that, and then he's going to land on this target right here. And ready, 1, 2, 3, go! Oh my God! Oh my God! We try to pick fly. And it was so tragic because we carried this baby through the whole play. It's just.
Would people laugh, or that sounds heartbreaking?
People would cry because they would laugh and then cry because we had a funeral for it. And there was a guy singing, "I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places." Thank God I didn't sing it. He sang it. He had a beautiful voice. And as we just, with this procession, we're just crying, just tragically. And a little thing, and we're like a coffin. And then we're just sitting on the edge of the stage, just sad and done. And people are sniffling and stuff. And then one of the clowns gets an idea, and the other 2 of us scoot off to the side, and she goes around and comes through the curtain. There's a little curtain with these 2 doors, this real simple stage on the side. She comes through the curtain, goes out to the audience, and she goes, "Ha ha." So like, if somebody made that sound, and she does her thing, and then one other comes through and ha ha, and then finds a laugh, and then mimics it with as best as he can, his favorite laugh. And then I came through, I had a jar, and I'd catch laughs, and then and then do different laughs, until I found the most beautiful laugh. And then there was a light, and then you knock on the door, and then open the door, and there were stars, and it was just so beautiful and so sweet. And so touching and moving. It's just crazy how clown work can do that. But I said to Orlando, who directed it, "What happens if no one laughs?" And he said, yes. I'm interested. Hopefully that will happen at least once. have to be there, man. Up in the booth, or I'm like, I don't know that they'll think this is funny. He goes, funny? If this is funny, we failed. We want joy. See that? And then he cried again. But we want.
I'm actually going to be disappointed if you don't cry. I'm going to feel like I failed.
It's right there. It's right there. I'm ready to go. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, and it's true. It has to be joy. And joy, because you leave his plays, that one and the ones I saw before, when I would watch them especially, you'd feel good for days after. And it's not just that you have that was a funny line, or that was a funny bit. It somehow makes life seem better, and the human condition, it like connects, you connect with it in it can be so beautiful. And then he also said, he said, Alan, the people are going to laugh anyway. He said, laughter's everywhere. And it was late at night, we had such a truncated rehearsal process / creative process, and he said, there's laughter here right now. And then I just don't know how he's just such an amazing, he just kind of turned something on, and then he kind of scooted like a foot. Within just like a minute, we were all dying laughing. He didn't say a word. It's just he has that muscle trained after so many years, and he just has this mischievousness in his eyes, and you know people like that, where you're like, you've got the people who have clown in them, where you can just be like, they don't have to really say anything funny. They can just be, they just have to be, and it's fun. And thank you. Thank you.
I am curious.
Anything else there? Okay,
Yes.
good. That's
No, it's all Knight's Tale.
Okay.
I am curious though, was there ever a night where someone didn't laugh? Or did the laughter always come?
The one night, like the second performance, I came out, and it had already been done twice, so everybody knows what's coming. And, I don't do the first laugh. I have to wait for someone to laugh. So everybody's just kind of sitting, knowing this is going to happen. And there was a woman, and I did the thing that Orlando did, where I just inched over closer to her, and then got a little bit closer until she laughed. And it was the New York Times critic. I didn't know it was her.
Oh, you didn't know.
I didn't.
Oh,
she had a pad on her lap, which I did notice. Once I got close enough, it was a little dark. She was cute.
You just really randomly picked the person with the pad.
She was cute. I wasn't dating Chris at the time, so yeah. And she laughed, and then that started it, and then once one goes, then you can do it. And I had the jar, which was the new thing. Yeah. And yeah.
How long ago was that?
I was 2000. I think it was like 2000 and God, it was almost 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Yep. So 11, 12 years ago, something like that.
So it's been a while.
It has been a while since I have done stage. Wow. Of Mice and Men, thank you. I did just do a stage production of Mice and Men, musical version that I wrote, renamed I'm Was Stupid. These last 3 years, thank you whoever said that, thank you very much. These last 3 years and why I was so weepy and cryy and so busy, in addition to Star Wars and Powerless, thank you. Yeah, I created this show with a couple of friends called Con Man thank you. It's about Con Man meaning convention man, Comic-Con conventions. It's a play off of Firefly, and when I did Firefly, I had never done conventions before. It was back in 2003, so they weren't what they are now, and I learned a lot about that world. And the people who were behind the scenes were the more interesting people. Everybody would be like, those things are crazy, the fans are crazy. It's like, actually, the fans are kind of constant. You know what you're going to get with the fans. They're very enthusiastic, they're very generous and nice, and the people backstage are crazy. They're mental. And so I wrote a story about a guy who was on a space show, just like Firefly, and he flew the spaceship, kind of like on Firefly. And Nathan Fillion was the captain of the spaceship. But Jack Moore, and I was Ray Nearly, Moore and Nearly, whatever. So I play the Nearly guy who, after the thing ends far too soon, gets canceled by Fox. My career goes, he makes bad career choices, and his only income is then going to conventions, and he resents his life. And Nathan Fillion's career, his best friend, becomes like Matt Damon famous, or at least Ben Affleck, like one of the two. And so that's what it's about, and it's about all those behind the scenes. And I use a lot of the people that are from that world. So I'm with Stupid was with Lou Ferrigno. And the idea is that Lou Ferrigno's doing, I find out that he's, what's it called again? Oh, it's called, not now all I can hear is I'm with Stupid. It's Of Mice and Men. He's doing Of Mice and Men off Broadway. And I'm interested in it, and we end up peeling off of everybody at the convention and go into this boiler room, and the door shuts, and I find out pretty quickly that it's a musical. And I'm like, this is off Broadway? Yeah, off Broadway. Right by the Staples Center and Spring. Okay, so it's, okay, I thought it was the other, okay. And we read it, and he's reading the same lines as me. I'm like, wait a second. He's like, I'm playing Lenny. Oh. No, I'm playing George. Right. I'm like, and I'm playing Lenny. You're the... So I'm the hulking creature, the size of a bear. Yeah. And you're the slim and quick, small, bindle stiff. That's me. And it's called I'm a Stupid. So I try to leave, but it's locked. And so he's like, let's do this. And start rehearsing now. And then people keep getting trapped in this room, and so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then we put on the play. And Mindy Sterling is in it, and Leslie Jordan. Talk about somebody who can just stand there and be funny. That guy. And Nolan North, who's a big motion capture actor. He plays the second best motion capture artist in the world, just under Andy Serkis. Which, I've got to anyway. So it's broad. All my experience and demons and whatever end up in this thing. And we did a movie. We had like five numbers or something like that. Yeah, that's really fun. You can get it on Comic-Con HQs where it lives now.
And you wrapped it up in January, right?
We wrapped it up in, man, crazy. I got shingles. I was insane. Yeah, because I had to go do Star Wars reshoots, and then I had done the pilot.
Thing.
I know. I was editing season 1 while I was doing Star Wars, so I would finish shooting and then go home and edit and then sleep and then go back and shoot, and then at lunch start getting notes back from LA, and then finish the day, and then at the end of the day they would have implemented my notes, and I would go over those notes and then make new notes. It was really crazy. I learned more in my life doing this, writing, producing, directing, all that together with this production than I have. It's changed me. I am changed.
Would you do it again? I mean, are you interested in writing and directing more?
A season 3? Writing, absolutely. Directing, I don't know enough about directing. I like talking to actors, and I like having the ability to affect what we're doing in a scene. Like to come in and go, oh, I got a bit. Get rid of these. Do we have something round that we could put here? I want something round. And then change things and go, oh no, we'll do it like this. I love that part of directing, and that's my favorite. And some great stuff has come out of that. And I've been doing Powerless now, and I've just kept doing that part of it.
Whether they like it or not.
They have been very open to it. They've been very, very, very open to it. Really. Like we get the read through, and then I write an email and say, here are some other punchlines I want on this one. And what if, I haven't too many times, but a couple times I've said, you're missing a joke on this character. There's a payoff to the joke that we don't have right now. And everybody has a blind spot, and they say no or yes, but they've mainly said yes. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool to see that level of getting to write jokes for other people. I love that part.
You've actually, something I've noticed, I mean, you've done a lot of TV, but I'm thinking specifically of sort of the 3 series you did with Firefly and Suburgatory and now Powerless. Right. They have amazing ensembles.
Right.
And that seems to be something that you gravitate towards a lot.
It's whatever. I mean, it's crapshoot. You don't know. I've done a lot of pilots where you're like, this is going to be great, and then you put some great people together. Julie Bowen, I did one with Julie Bowen once, and it just didn't work. She wasn't good. I wasn't good. Ty Burrell and I played husbands. It didn't work. Like, wow, that would have been great.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I think he was. I wasn't. He's very good.
He's very good.
Very good. And Ty Burrell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an actor that auditions for stuff. I'm an actor. Somebody was asking me, so what do you choose to do? I'm like, choose. I mean, in a way, I choose, but my choices are always more in the negative, as far as no, I won't do that, and no, I won't do that. Less than, I'm ready to do one of these now.
You still audition?
Oh, yeah.
Really? But you must be good at it. I mean, you work a lot.
I guess. I do all right, yeah. I mean, really, you don't know. I mean, I'm at a place, and I don't know where I am now. You never know where you are. You can't see your career, or how you're perceived. But and I don't mean this as a whiny thing. This is just the truth. It may have changed. May have changed, but I get a lot of, because there's less and less movies made these days, fewer and fewer movies. So there are more accomplished actors who are unemployed and looking for the same work that used to be. These guys were working, and then these guys would get these roles. Now these guys are going for these roles, and you're fighting big guys for roles. And also, names make for better box office. And so I've had a few times, and sometimes I ended up with the role, Death at a Funeral, I ended up with the role, but the point is, thanks that directors have to go to the mat for me. Frank Oz had to go to the mat to give me that role, because they're like, we need a name. He's like, he's the best one for the role. And they're like, and what does that, I don't care. A name can be mediocre and will be better at the end of the day than a guy who you think is going to make the movie better. Get this guy, you direct him. Or I've had, direct him to be better. Where the director will say, I wish I could cast you. I just can't.
Wow.
I've got to go with somebody else who has a name. They're not always that forthcoming, but I did have one 2 years ago that was like, you're great. Sorry. And you just go, all right, next. The thing that all actors and artists and everybody, no matter what you do, that meant to be thing. It's just not meant to be. And a lot of times it turns out like if I got that thing that I couldn't believe I didn't get and it pissed me off, then I wouldn't have been able to do something that you end up getting to do, wanting to do.
Actually, it's funny, we have a lot of Death at a Funeral questions since you brought it up.
If you don't know, I don't know, if you don't know, so we made Death at a Funeral in England with a bunch of pasty white people. And it's the way it's written. It's very buttoned down English, and that's what made it so funny. It's a Death at a Funeral, and if one small thing happens, people get very upset. And they hold it all in, and they're very, your aunt is in tatters. You've knocked over the coffin with her husband, and she's in tatters. Woo! But it kept that tension. It made for a really nice farce, and it's a true farce. And those are so hard, I think, to write. They don't do a lot of them. And Frank Oz directed it. I was only here for a short time, and then was gone, although I'm huge in Australia.
Really?
It was huge there.
Really?
It came in the theaters, and then I Am Legend came and knocked it out of the theaters, and then it beat I Am Legend again, like it went back to #1 and I Am Legend faded, stayed in the theaters, they took it out of theaters, it came back into theaters. Like I talked to people like, yeah, they put it back in my, I can't do that actually. They put it back in my theater. I know that, was terrible. And I went there and was famous for the first time in my life, where I went there and people were like, oh my God, he's here. Who do you think I am?
Was voiceover something you were always interested in pursuing, or did it just develop as your career did?
The play that I did where I played all the roles, the first Bunny, a casting director saw me and I went to audition for Ice Age, a movie they were going to call Ice Age, and they gave me a stack of pictures, and said, do a voice for each one of these. And I just did a voice for each one, and then I got a call and they're like, yeah, you got 3 voices. And I did 3 voices in that, and then it was years before I got work again. I think it was Ice Age 2. It was. And I had like one line. I had another character that they cut, and then I have like this fructose intolerant bear who farts. And had a great role in the video game where you had the Scrat had to jump in his fart wind. Really. To get blasted up to a cliff to get these coins. Anyway. So I put, that's just bad, I'm sorry. And he was farted. And then I was really when I did King Candy from, I love that role, from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, yes.
And I got that role sort of, we were supposed to do the read-through, or there was a read-through, and it was supposed to be somebody else. And he fell out. And because you had to fly to San Francisco to do it. On Southwest Airlines. They don't have a plane? I mean, you've got Sarah Silverman here. You got, you got Sarah Silverman here. For God's sake. You don't put her on Southwest. Group B, for Christ's sake. So anyway, we flew up there and I did the role, and John Lasseter said, it's really wonderful to meet you. And after that, they gave me a role in Frozen, where I played the Duke of Weaselton, which was happening right away.
Weaselton.
Yeah, Weaselton. And I had another character before the Duke of Weaselton that they had, that now he exists in the movie. I can still see him every once in a while. He was a butler, but he had a bigger role, where he loved cheese, and he was sort of there. He took care of them a little bit as they were kids, and they're like, we can't have anybody take care of them as kids. They need to be all alone. So he went away, and then the Duke of Weaselton got bigger. And then after that, I think, because they said, well, let's keep Tudyk around, because after those 2 hits, he's I don't know what the hell they thought.
Secret ingredient.
That was it. Mm-hmm. That was the thing. So anyway, they decided that was the thing. So then I did a voice in Big Hero 6, and I did a voice in Zootopia, and then Moana, I played the rooster. Yeah.
You obviously don't audition for something like that, right?
That, they just asked me to do it. Yeah, and they didn't after Wreck-It Ralph, they've just said, come in. And gave me roles, and they're like, just do this role. What do you think? And you just work with it for a little while until you find something, and they'll go, that's good, that's it. There you go. And that's really as much as goes into it. Like 20 minutes later, you're the Duke of Weaselton. Wow.
You're the new John Ratzenberger for them.
Kind of, yeah. That's. I'm not a Republican. I'm very political. I apologize. It's such a crazy time. But he does his own voice.
You're right.
So it's kind of like you know when you're listening to him. Although
There's Cliff.
I think he was in Dory. There was one little character mowing his lawn, right? And it was like, that's him, I think, but they'd pitched it up. So I kind of am, except I'm always like hiding. I hide in there.
Yeah.
So it's neat.
Are there any cool perks about working with Pixar? Like, do you get to go to Club 33 or?
Oh, it's Disney, which is different from
Yeah,
Pixar.
I'm sorry, Disney.
Yeah, you get dinner. You get parties. You get a party every year, it seems like, the Oscar party, because they're always up for an Oscar. You got to hang out with Lin-Manuel, that was pretty cool. He follows me on Twitter, whatever. Whatever. I do tweets down like, would Lin like this? Delete. Let's keep it PG-13.
What would Lin do?
Yeah. There's a dinner before before a movie comes out. You all go up to the animation building at Walt Disney World with the Hat, and if you've ever seen it, and you go have dinner there with the whole cast because you don't get to meet everybody.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to sit down with everybody, have this really great dinner, and you watch it first, and it's not necessarily done. They go right up to the last minute. So I like there was Frozen with big chunks of white. Like, that's gonna be a mountain. And King Candy was like on that last race. There were big parts of it that were just blocks and stuff. But then you have dinner, and then you take pictures, and you have that nice night, and then like the premiere is a couple nights later. And now we're friends with the Lasseters. You know, I mean, the Lasseters. They're the Lasseters now. Like, and I realized how spoiled I was this last time when we did Moana, because Carissa and I were going, and I was like, oh, they give you a menu first. I'm like, did we have the steak last time? Was that good? I can't remember if the steak was good. I'm gonna go fish this time. I'm going fish. I remember you liked, like, how many of these? We've been to a lot of them now, and it's very, very neat.
Have you seen, there's a great BTS footage going around right now on Moana where you're voicing Hei Hei?
Yeah.
Yes, and then you stop to remind everyone you went to Juilliard.
Yeah. That was one of the most fun recordings I've ever done. It was similar to Pirate Steve a little bit from Dodgeball, in that he said yar and gar, and a lot of that was just putting a yar or gar in the right spot and having imbuing it with yar, you know, whatever was happening, yeah. That, you know, that was part of the scene, that it was but just different situations, but I got to watch it. It was at a point in the animation that I could watch
cool.
it, you know, so I could just follow along. And I think I spent 2 to 4 hours there just screaming as a rooster. And I play a couple other roles in it too. I'm this guy who wants to eat the rooster at one point, right at the beginning. I can't do that voice because I don't remember it. And then a guy who's getting a tattoo. Ow, 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 ow. That's right. So they just kind of come in and do some roles. They're
and you did it all in
cool.
one day, or you came back?
Yeah, I just did it all in one day.
Oh, that's amazing, because...
Like, when it's a bigger role, it takes many days over, it can be years.
We had a question from Ryan Jarek, I think it is. When you're doing a voiceover character, do you give the studio or casting director multiple options, or do you come in with a set character?
Yeah, no, a lot of times I don't even know what the character is before I come in.
Really?
Yeah, like, so it's this. Here's what we have. Here's some sketches. Here's some early drawings. What do you got? Yeah, that's it.
When it came to Star Wars, was that something you had to audition for, or?
Yeah.
Really?
I had a Skype session with Gareth, the director, but I did not take it seriously at all. I thought he was calling me to find out about robot acting, and
because you did iRobot.
I did iRobot, and I've done a motion captured robot before. I was like, oh, you're going to want to talk to the robot guy? Yeah, that's me. And I had a very candid conversation with him over to Friends. I was over at Nathan Fillion's house, like, going to go on a hike. Like, I got to do this thing. And afterwards, I told him who I was talking to. He's like, you prick! Call him back! Call him back! Call him back right now! And I did call him back. And he left a message. Just, he didn't pick up. But I Skyped with him, and he was like, my plan is to, any movement, I'm going to capture, and if you make a mistake, he keeps saying if you make a mistake, I don't want to change that either because that's the real thing that actually happened in the day. What? Dude, don't do that. Are you crazy? Don't even hem yourself in by saying that. That was how I talked to him. Like, no, you're going to be able to pull the head off of the guy from take 1 and put it on the body movement of take 3. Don't. If you can perfect it. You got every tool at your disposal. Use the tools you have. And that was how the conversation went. I mean, I was also like, wow, that sounds great, and how cool, and all of that stuff, and just went into what the process was for Sonny, which was very theatrical. I spent a month there before figuring out how he moved, and that was the best part of that whole project, because it was like I was doing theater, mask work. We had books on Lecoq's called Mime. We even watched some No Theater to look at different movies.
Wow.
I mean, it was brilliant. It was so much fun. To do a Will Smith movie. I was like, and I'm sure you see the No Theater. When you watch that movie, you're like, I get it. There it is. But so just talked about all of that, and then I was asked to audition, and it was for I had a scene that didn't end up in the movie. I did it 3 different ways. One with my accent, an American accent. One with sort of the accent I used for Sonny, which was the Juilliard accent, the standard middle, whatever it's called, standard speech. What is it? Mid-Atlantic speech. Mid-Atlantic speech. Whatever that one. Well, it's the way that they teach you to talk, which is their way of. Does that not sound normal to you? It was a way to project your voice to hit the back of the wall. Enunciate.
Is it strange that some of your best known work is you're not seen on screen, or do you kind of like it?
I don't. This answers it. I don't mind it. I really like K2 because I saw the performance prior to his animation, and it does so much.
Yeah.
You don't capture everything on my face, but it doesn't matter. He's so great looking, and I think that as a robot and as a mask, it's a great mask. And they follow my eyes, where my eyes went, which really does say a lot. Sonny was a little hard for me. I was younger, I expected something else. The theater part was fun. I saw my performance in that, a very different character. He's the one robot who feels, and nobody knows did he kill his creator? What is he doing? And he's confused by why doesn't everyone, he gets angry, he gets emotional, and he's being accused of murdering his father. He's sad about it, and then they're going to kill him, and he's wondering, and when I die, what happens? Like all these great things to wrestle with, and it was a wonderful role. I learned a lot about acting, I just questioned so much. It made me think about how we tell stories. And then because motion capture, in that one they came to me, and I love K2, I don't want to say, but in that one, so separating K2, that one they came to me and said, Alan, we just need to get a real quick surprise faces. What? We need to get some surprise faces, just off somewhere. The guys came to me, I was like, okay, surprise, it's a surprise party, or is it surprise I'm gonna have a baby, or is it surprise your house is on fire? Guys, whatever we did in the scene is the surprise or not that should be. Don't just put any generic surprise in. That's why you hired me, and that's why you have an actor. And when you do, I did some motion capture for a video game because I wanted to see what the technology was. Also, I was writing for Con-Man at the time, and it'd be something that Ray would do. So I would say yes to, anyway, so I did this video game. I went in this new process that they do. They have cameras all around you, like a bunch of actual just cameras that, and then you have this list of faces you need to do. Medial, left, medial, restriction, something like, it'll be like that thing. And you go, and just farther, but keep this one down, farther, keep your eyes down. Now do it the right way, and now do your things like that, now do your things like that, and all of this stuff so that they have this menu of things to use. And it was the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? You're mapping these uninspired faces that are, but that's part of the process as it is now. And Andy Serkis has a school called the Imaginarium, and they use all those dots and things, and now there's cameras that are around you all the time, and I think it's changing that way. It's still evolving. The great thing with K2 is I didn't have to wear any of that because I think he was going to have such little movement, facial movement, that they could just see it, and then I had a suit on for my movement. And I was on stilts, and we got to play, and it was so much fun. But still, people think of it as a voiceover a lot of times. And I explained that you can't do a character by committee. So if I didn't do the role, they would have gone in and had a lot of animators decide surprise face, and not have the through line. And all of the stuff that we did, there's like this scene where I hit him, which we came up with there, where there's some stormtroopers, and they are like, "Why are you taking your prisoners?" They're prisoners. They're prisoners. Like, he's figuring it out. Yep. Taking them to the prison to imprison them. And that was all just made up and fun in the moment. And I hit him and said, "And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again." And they put it all in the movie.
That's right.
And it's the one place in the movie where you can see Diego, the only place somebody cracks on screen.
Really?
Where when I hit him, he goes like this. He covers his face, so you see just this part of the thing. Curl up.
Well, now I'm going to have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah. And the DVDs are out right now.
We're out of time, but I do...
I talk a lot.
Selfishly, just want to close with a question from Adam. Right in the front. We already talked about death at a funeral, so could you tell us any funny stories from A Knight's Tale?
I'll tell you a story that I just told the other day that isn't really that funny.
Really selling this.
But there's a movie coming out about Heath Ledger.
Yes.
That looks really beautiful and poignant, and he was such a beautiful guy. And it's so sad that he's gone. But I don't know if this is an interesting story, but my connection with him, just to tell a little story about how beautiful he was, and what a great time we did have on that movie. We were all in this medieval movie, and we were making a medieval movie. We were in Prague for 5 months in this medieval town, and in a bar when somebody made noise and called somebody out. We all stood as one, and we were like that. We were rowdy. It was a little cagey. It was fun. We really just kind of tore that city up, and he was 21. I think he turned 21 on that movie, so it was good times. But my friend died while I was shooting that movie, and it seems ironic that this great man who he was, my friend, larger than life, and Heath actually knew him oddly. They had crossed paths and he stayed at Eddie's house, but that's how Eddie's life was. Like, how did you, what? You did what? How did you've met him? And, because I was going to the movie and he's like, "Oh yeah, you stayed at my house not so long ago." So when I found out Eddie died, I went to the bar downstairs and was like, "I need a bottle of Jack Daniels." And they're like, "We don't sell bottle, we sell shot." It's like, okay, then figure out how many shots are in a bottle and sell me the bottle. Like, I was, and I got up and I was just sitting in my apartment, and I got a call from Heath, and he's like, "Where are you?" "In my apartment." He's like, "Come over right now." And I stayed with him for 3 days, and he took care of me until I could go to the funeral, and like looked after me. And even though he was younger than me, it was weird. He was like older than me. He was a great guy, and he was there. He was there if I, whenever I wanted to be in contact with him. Sadly, I didn't. I wasn't in contact a lot. Saw him. Yeah, I saw him right after he did Brokeback Mountain. one of the last times I saw him. I'm like, so what? Okay, back up. With tongue? I remember that being part of it. And yeah, Knight's Tale people would get together whenever. I'm going to see Brian Helgeland tomorrow night, the guy who wrote and directed it tomorrow night. So,
And you did 42 with?
And I did 42 with, which he cast me in that role, and he fought. There's another one of those, as I keep talking, that I auditioned for the role, and he's like, he did it, this is my guy. And they said, yeah, no. And he calls me, he's like, Alan, you got to come back in again. I'm like, so what do I need to do different? He's like, I don't know. So I go in and do it again. They said no, and they gave it to somebody else. Then I went to New York and did my little clown play. And while I was doing my clown play, I got a call from Brian. He said, do you still want to do the movie? And the guy that they had cast, I don't know who it was, he got another movie.
Nice.
And he had to choose between the two. And he chose the other movie. And he said, can I hire Alan Tudyk now? And they said, yeah. So like it was one of those that everything's on your side. And he's like, yeah, I can't. He goes, if I fight for you, that's my last fight on this movie. And I got a lot of fights to come. So sorry. And we're still friends. Because, anyway, no, but we are still friends. We were going to make a Knight's Tale 2, but that's another story.
No, let's stop. Go back.
I would always hassle him about a Knight's Tale 2. He started writing it while we were doing it. He had a pitch on it. It was called A Pirate's Tale. This is before Pirates of the Caribbean.
Who would you play?
I play
There's
Walt.
pirates. There's.
I bought a ship. There's even a shot, because we're now rich at the end, where we're all at the thing, and Heath's over there making out, and I say, I bought a ship. And they're like, what? I bought a ship. And that would be the beginning of the movie. So we did shoot it so we would have the connection where it cuts to us in a ship. We're in chains, and we're in steerage, we're rowing, and there's a guy in front of me whose mouth is sewn shut, his eyes are sewn shut, his ears are sewn shut. I guess his mouth, so you have to open something. His tongue was cut out, that's what it was. And he has this intricate tattoo on his back, and we're rowing. And it's all you have to look at is this tattoo. And it's like, you know what? This kind of looks like those islands. And if that was, oh, wait a minute, this is a map. This is a map. Oh my God, this has got to be a map of something. And can you tell us? Shit. Can't understand the thing the guy says. And then as he's getting whipped, pieces of the map are going away. I'll take it. Give it to me. No, it was my fault, really. And that we end up getting our ship back, and then Adamar had taken the princess, and that's about as much as it was kind of. Yeah.
Well, you're seeing Brian tomorrow. Talk to him about this.
Well, no, we're not going to do it.
True.
Once Heath died, yeah, you can't have Knight's Tale without him, unless you do it as a TV show, which I think they should do.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I think they tried it and it sucked. So what are you going to do?
Well, again, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming.
Sorry, we
That's okay.
really
I
went
thought
over.
like that.